Today on MHK All Day, we take a look at how the new liquor law in Kansas could affect independent liquor store sales. Also, could K-State possibly follow the trend of other universities and make esports an official sponsored sport? And we're live at Tuttle Creek to talk about the flooding. All of this and more coming up. This is MHK All Day. Good morning and welcome to MHK All Day. I'm Bridget Howard. Thanks for joining us today. Here are a few stories making headlines in Manhattan and around Riley County in 90 seconds. 3 weeks after being hit by a vehicle while crossing a street on campus, K-State student Alyssa Ogden is recovering in a Nebraska hospital. Alyssa has been making progress since the accident and is attending daily therapy sessions involving speech, physical, and occupational activities. Alyssa's sister Kaylee Ogden says that Alyssa seems to be improving each day, but is still struggling with her short-term memory. Kaylee said they don't know if she will make a 100% recovery. Since the accident, Alyssa's family has made a fundraiser on GoFundMe.com called #AlyssaStrong to help raise money for the cost of her hospital bills. If you would like to help, you can donate on Alyssa's GoFundMe page, #AlyssaStrong. K-State was recently ranked as the second best public university in the nation on Learn.org, with KU ranked just below at third. The rankings are based off of a combination of student retention, tuition prices, and graduation rates. K-State was recognized for its various programs and the high percentage of graduates who are employed within 6 months of graduating. Over the weekend, K-State held its annual open house event. The event gives prospective students and families an opportunity to explore K-State's 250 majors and options, 475 campus clubs, and the opportunity to explore the 9 different colleges on campus. There were a wide range of activities, including a pancake feed, campus tours, performance from the K-State Swinging Spurs, the K-State Marching Band, and much more. The 10th Annual Pride Festival in Manhattan starts tomorrow at noon with a parade and festivities. Little Apple Pride will be in City Park featuring vendors, drag performers, and live music. The event is put on by Manhattan's Little Apple Pride Committee and the Flint Hills Human Rights Project. Pride is a celebration of the LGBTQ+ community, but welcomes everyone. That's all for this week's News in 90. Now let's send it to Amelia Andrews, who is live at Tuttle Creek right now to talk about the flooding.
Thanks, Bridget. I'm here live at Tuttle Creek, where flooding conditions on the Missouri River has the lake levels higher than normal. Reporter Bree Smith caught up with businesses around Manhattan to see how past flooding here in town caused them to relocate.
The city of Manhattan has been dealing with the aftermath of Wildcat Creek flooding since Labor Day 2018. Goblin Games owner Joey Wyatt was forced to relocate quickly after his store was completely demolished in September and the majority of his merchandise was destroyed. Wyatt says the hardest part about relocating was finding a temporary spot that would fit his business needs immediately.
Basically just getting up and operational somewhere else. Again, the kind of temporary spot in the mall is, good enough, but would, definitely want to be the best at what we do. So, waiting on the perfect spot and getting it all up and rolling is really hard.
The water levels at Wildcat Creek are not the main focus this spring, as Tuttle Creek operations manager says the lake north of town is almost 40 feet above normal, and flooding might be a concern for citizens.
We have the potential to receive flood flows from a very large drainage area, both from the Kansas River and also from the Big Blue River, so there's two potential large sources of flooding.
McNulty isn't concerned about another flood like the one last fall at Wildcat Creek, causing damage to businesses, and he hopes the water level at Tuttle Creek might see some relief soon.
Hopefully in the next week and a half, we'll be able to start making some releases to start bringing the lake back down.
Even though Goblin Games lost time and money in Labor Day flood, Wyatt feels fortunate to have a new store on the way.
I mean, you have to just look at it like it's, it's just money. It's nothing, nobody died, everybody is safe, so that's what's really important.
Tuttle Creek began operating in the 1960s and was made to prevent downstream flooding on the Missouri River. The lake is part of a district of man-made lakes run by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in the Kansas City region meant to control floods. Right now, the flood channel is at 40% capacity, and this part of the dam is typically empty. Signs like these warn visitors at Tuttle Creek to be careful due to collapsing banks caused by erosion. The city meets later this month to discuss goals for flooding issues across Manhattan, specifically focusing on Wildcat Creek. Live at Tuttle Creek, I'm Amelia Andrews for MHK All Day. Now back to Bridget.
Thanks for the update, Amelia. Don't go anywhere because after the break, we'll tell you why students and faculty gathered in the Union to protest. Also, we have some tips for how you can stay safe when using Uber or Lyft.
I email my professors, I get an answer. They're participating in the discussion boards. You just feel really connected, and that was a unique experience for me. I'm not new to distance programs. I'm a military wife. Been to 6 different colleges in 4 different states, so I've definitely taken some online classes, and K-State does it very differently, and they pull it off beautifully. I don't know how, but I'm just glad.
Welcome to K-State. We're so excited all of you came to visit us here on campus. We're going to be starting our tour here in front of Anderson Hall, which is our administrative building and kind of our iconic building on campus. It houses our president's office and our vice president for student life. All right, let's get started. We're going to be going to the Union next. It houses our pool.
I had taken online classes before, but Kansas State was really great because it was so organized, and like all the teachers and professors were so helpful, and they just went beyond to help me to get the degree.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. At the beginning of this month, a new liquor law was put into place in the state of Kansas. Not only will this affect consumers, but it could also have a negative effect on local businesses. Grocery and convenience stores in Kansas have started reaping the benefits of the new liquor laws that went into effect on April 1st of this year. The new law allows big box stores to sell full-strength beer, which could potentially hurt independent liquor stores across the state. Before this law was passed, grocery and convenience stores were only able to sell beer with a 3.2% alcohol content. Emery Braun, a junior at K-State, said the new liquor laws won't affect where she purchases her alcohol as a college student, but is aware of the struggles that small-town liquor stores may face.
Being in college, and I think most college students would agree, it's so much more convenient when you're right down the street from liquor stores, and I think that they are kind of strategically placed around this college town so that kids are always in close proximity of one, so they don't feel like they have to go to a store like Walmart. But I do know that now that is an option for them if they would rather do that.
Bill Heinen, the owner of Hunt and Hearth Liquor in Randolph, Kansas, is most concerned with how the new law will affect his sales of strong beer products.
People don't realize that the strong beer products represent a good majority of our sales in small liquor stores.
Braun believes the current state of our society will determine where people purchase their liquor.
In society today, I think we prefer things that are super convenient, super timely. We'd rather just get it all done, you know. No one likes running errands and going a million different places. So when it's all in one store, you're going to get less and less business and less of the population going to those smaller liquor stores for the one specific need.
Heinen showed us his sales from Memorial Day last year, pointing out that those marked purple were beer products only, sales that he could now potentially lose.
We have the potential to lose every one of those purple spots to somebody else. That's why I'm concerned about the new liquor laws, because if we lose this many purple spots, there's a lot of liquor stores that are going to be just closing the door.
The new law in Kansas comes after neighboring states of Oklahoma and Colorado both implementing similar liquor laws in recent months. Kansas still prohibits the sale of hard liquor in grocery stores, unlike in Missouri. Last Thursday, students gathered in Bosco Plaza to both protest against and support a trio of speakers who were to speak at a meeting for the K-State chapter of Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA is an American conservative nonprofit organization that is advertised as a group that educates students about fiscal responsibility and limited government. The protesters, led by KSU Young Democrats President Ian Boyd and Saga Vice President Seth Peary, were voicing their frustration with SGA's recent decision to allocate $3,000 to the Turning Point chapter at K-State to host the 3 speakers that evening. The students claim that often creates a hostile environment on college campuses and defends hateful rhetoric as free speech. The 3 Turning Point speakers, Austin Fletcher, DC Drano, and Elijah Schaefer, and Turning Point chapter president Jaden McNeil, engaged in a brief debate with the protests before the 2 groups separated. The protesters moved their demonstration to the front steps of Anderson Hall, while members of the Turning Point chapter moved into the Union to begin their panel. While the 2 groups separated in the end, Speaker Austin Fletcher had hopes to continue in dialogue.
And we're also starting to have a good dialogue with the people. Someone complained about my tone of voice. Okay, fair. That's a free speech. I'm just being loud so everyone can hear me. I'm a passionate guy. You can look at all my videos. I speak the same way everywhere all the time. But, you know, in the speech, we're not here to talk about weird nuances and laws about hate speech. We're here to tell people that free speech is your freedom, but the best control to freedom is self-control. So it's not about letting people police what you say. It's about growing as an individual to learn what is proper for you.
Recent incidents across the U.S. involving Uber drivers and their passengers have raised safety concerns regarding the company's pickup procedures. Reporter Katie Fink has more on how you can stay safe.
However, there are always dangers associated with transportation services.
Just recently, I actually got in the wrong Uber myself. I realized mid-ride that wasn't who was supposed to pick me up. So I was a little terrified, but having, thought about this and planned ahead and thought, what am I going to do if I'm ever in this situation? Because you can't just assume that it's not going to happen to you.
If you do have an issue with your Uber experience or driver, the app makes it easy to report an incident under trip details.
No matter what you have to do to get yourself out of a situation, you need to do it. Report the driver so that you can ensure that it never happens again.
The number of Uber-related deaths, injuries, and harassments continues to rise in the United States. A few weeks ago, a USC student mistakenly got into her attacker's car thinking it was her Uber. Now, the state of South Carolina wants to pass a bill that would require Uber and Lyft drivers to have a giant illuminated sign on top of their car that's company provided to let people know that they are, in fact, the driver. Uber and Lyft passengers aren't the only ones who can come in contact with danger. Delivery drivers also need to stay on their toes as well.
Sometimes you can come into an instance where it just doesn't feel safe, or it feels like it's maybe a dangerous situation. If you're not comfortable with it, you can always just leave. Leave the food somewhere and call them and tell them where the food's at, either on their front door or front porch or something, because they're, if you ever feel uncomfortable, it's not worth the $6 to deliver someone's food, to get kidnapped or something like that. And, never step into someone's house, obviously. If they offer that, hey, it's warmer or whatever in here while I get my food, you just tell them no.
In Manhattan, I'm Katie Fink for Channel 8 News.
You should also always make sure the driver's license number on your app matches the number on the vehicle that is picking you up. Stay tuned, because after the break, we have this week's sports update.
TV and live on Facebook.
And you can actually see it.
Come on, one more.
It's wide open for Reiki. Yes! Three-pointer! Rob gets the ball back. Left baseline. 8-footer. Good. Reiki answer three-pointer. It's good!
Oh, it's been like the best adventure of my life. Best, hands down. Don't tell my children I said that, but absolutely the best thing ever. I've had so much fun. I've learned so much, and I think the thing that I love most about this program, the expectations are just like that of a regular full-time program. There's discussions, there's discussion board posts, there's interaction with the instructors, just like you would have if you were on campus. I love it.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Let's take a look at what's going on this week in sports.
People looking for a new way to get active might want to check out Spikeball, a game that's gaining popularity around college campuses. MHK All Day reporter Julia Jorns caught up with some students who like to play.
Spikeball is to hit the ball onto the net and off the net in 3 tries or less, alternating with your partner each time. The possession continues to change each time the ball hits the net. Nicole Sanchez was first introduced to Spikeball when she went on a trip to Alabama. She says that once she started playing, she realized how simple it could be.
Physical activity, it's something fun to do outside, but it's not like too intense. I think it's pretty easy for most people to pick up, and so it's not like you have to be a pro or crazy athlete to be able to play. And it's also just a fun social event. Like with your friends, you can kind of like rotate in, rotate out, so it just makes it something fun to do.
Madison Nebrega says that she enjoys Spikeball because of the different styles of hits people use while playing.
I like playing Spikeball because it's a game of reflexes and accuracy and really dumb ideas. Like, I'm gonna see just how I can spike this, and it goes like 20 feet, and you have to get it.
Spikeball is a fun way to get active and hang out with friends, and you just need a few things to get started. You'll need an open field, the set that includes a round net and a ball, and finally, find 3 other people who want to play. William Hellier, who grew up in Atlanta playing soccer, says that his favorite thing about now playing Spikeball is that he knows it's going to be a good day anytime he can make a play with his feet.
I think the biggest thing about Spikeball is like every time you play, there's a pretty good chance that you're gonna do something insane. Like you're gonna have a highlight, and it's just really fast paced and it tests a lot of technique and skill and athleticism.
Spikeball is a sport enjoyed by many and can be seen being played all over. In Manhattan, Julia Jorns, Channel 8 News.
As the weather starts to warm up, you will probably start to see more people enjoying the sunshine and playing some Spikeball with their friends. I got the chance to catch up with some local recreational athletes at the old Memorial Stadium. Take an inside look at the Ultimate Frisbee Club at Kansas State.
Ultimate Frisbee, it's not basketball, it's not baseball, and it's not football. It's not nearly as known as any of those 3 sports, but somebody forgot to tell those at Kansas State.
Really, it's just a mix of a bunch of different sports. It's got like the passing game of football, the defensive game of soccer, and just like, I mean, and it's a lot of fun. The disc kind of floats out there, and it's really easy to make a lot of cool plays. Ultimate is a very highlight-heavy sport, and that's one of the reasons I like it a lot.
The team goes on 3 or 4 tournaments a semester, and it sounds like those tournaments can be a lot of fun on and off the field.
There's a lot of memories to make. I mean, after you run for 6 hours a day, you kind of build up friendship and stuff. So when you're all exhausted in the hotel room and stuff, I don't know, fun things happen. And there was one I didn't go to. It was called the Mud Bowl, where it rained constantly, and they just came back soaked in mud. So just kind of fun stuff like that.
And not only is the sport a fun way to get exercise and stay in shape, but it's also a great way to make friends.
I really like the Ultimate Club here at Kansas State because it's been a great community, great way to meet a lot of people, a lot of good guys. Stay fit, stay active, kind of get you on your feet, let you think, let you work as a team. It's just really great to be involved with some people that, doing something extracurricular, not school-wise.
Ultimate may never take over basketball, football, or baseball in global popularity, but it's still on the come up and is a fun option for athletes looking for a team sport. That's all we have for sports this week. MHK All Day will be back after the break.
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind.
A family that represents a diverse and eclectic population.
We are a family that believes
that diversity, inclusion,
and sportsmanship
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are
family, diverse and together.
The best kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP's Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress. JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
They give you all the tools that you need to succeed, from the video modules, well-descriptive electronic communication. They really set the expectations clear, and there's really no surprises, and I would definitely recommend it.
H1 minus H2 plus V1 squared minus V2 squared all over 2.
Gaming at the collegiate level has become a big deal and has a few major universities forming official esports teams. Reporter Dylan Lears found out how K-State is contributing to the national esports gaming scene.
Hello and welcome. We've got finals today. It's the 2018 College Championship Finals. But on the other side of the bracket, University of California, Irvine, mainline. Another nice route comes out, and the damage from Young able to provide the assist.
The esports club at K-State is the university's link to the global esports boom that is occurring right now. With over a dozen student members, teams compete against colleges across the country.
So competition, you're placed on a team, you've got a position, you play against other teams in your game. We've got an Overwatch team. Overwatch team 1 week might play against Baylor, or another week they may play against UC Irvine. And so it's a nationwide thing.
Underneath that fierce competition lies a unique brotherhood of players, formed by the way of the esports scene.
I decided to step up and fill a position at the vice presidency to help out because I enjoy the club. It's honestly became like more of a second family to me. A lot of the members of the club actually get together weekly just to hang out.
I think the funnest part is probably just like getting to interact with all the people that have like a similar passion as you. I'd say it's just sports without the physical activity, honestly. It's just like, it's the same thing, just a lot of mental focus, a lot of hard work and practice that goes on behind the scenes.
With collegiate esports booming into a multi-million-dollar industry, we may one day see the day that an official esports team exists within K-State athletics.
We are not university sponsored, just as a disclaimer there, but places like UC Irvine, Missouri, I want to say Nebraska Lincoln, they've all developed their own esports organizations that are university funded. So in the same way that we have the athletics department that runs football, basketball, soccer, etc., they've got an esports department for all of their esports teams.
I contacted K-State Athletic Director Gene Taylor about the possibility of forming an esports team, and he told me, quote, "We have been talking to our esports group on campus, but have not moved on anything formal yet. We are still in the talking phase," end quote. As for the esports club at K-State someday becoming university sponsored,
I, of course, can't make any promises about it, but that's eventually the road we want to head down.
That'd be really exciting. I think it'll happen eventually, seeing that esports is growing so quickly, but I think having recognition from the athletic department is a huge step in the right direction.
In Manhattan, Dylan Lears, MHK All Day.
If you would like to join the K-State Esports Club, reach out to them on their website or Facebook page. Not only is the online gaming scene popular in Manhattan, the boarding game scene is popular as well. Reporter Zach Perez went on a donut run with the owner of Goblin Games to find out more.
today. I have Joey from Goblin Games. So, Joey, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Joey White. I own Goblin Games. Local business sells board games, trading cards, RPGs, that kind of thing.
So, Joey, can you tell me a little bit about just kind of the story behind Goblin Games and just kind of how everything got started?
So I've lived in Manhattan for a while, since I was like 4th grade, like 2000-ish. I've been a nerd the whole time, so I've gone through a lot of game stores.
Definitely understand.
Yeah. And there was kind of an opportunity a few years back. We hadn't had a good one for a while, and so my wife and I jumped on it and started our own shop.
So, for some of the people who may not be exactly familiar with the store, can you kind of just tell everyone what you do at the store, what kind of products you sell?
Yeah, sure. So we sell board games, is a lot of it. We have a big demo library, so you can come in, play games for free, try it out before you buy them. Has a big play space, you can just like sit down and play with your family, whoever you hang out with for the day. Then we sell a lot of Magic. So that's a trading card game. So, little piece of cardboard, very collectible, can be super expensive. We buy and trade and do all that kind of stuff for that game. And that's the same thing with that as well, but there's usually like a tournament kind of scenario where you buy in and get some store credit and prize on the other end if you do well. Every night there's at least one thing going on in our store. So Monday night's like Magic Commanders, so it's like a more casual, like multiplayer format. Tuesday night Standard, then Keyforge, which is kind of a newer trading card game. Wednesday we do Dungeons and Dragons and Yu-Gi-Oh! Thursday's kind of our board game night. And then Dragon Ball Super, which is another newer card game based that night too. Friday is like Magic and Warhammer 40K, which is like a tabletop management game. Saturday's Modern, Sundays Legacy, and kind of, it's like when people come in and just like play board games a lot of times. It's like Sunday afternoon, after church or whatever else they got.
So what kind of made you want to, kind of just open up your own shop or just kind of get into this?
I've always kind of had the, for lack of a better term, like a capitalist drive to buy stuff for cheap and sell it for more. Like when I was a kid, I would always be, hustling the playgrounds, that kind of thing. And Magic has been something I've played since I was in middle school. And I've always really, really enjoyed. So it just kind of made sense, especially with not necessarily having a good home for the community for a long time in Manhattan. Just taking a step up and making one is kind of what I wanted to do.
Joey, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Really appreciate you having here. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to you, Bridget.
Want a chance to be featured on our show and get some donuts? Tweet us at MHK All Day to nominate yourself or a Manhattan community member you'd like to see on the show. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of MHK All Day. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and on Facebook at MHK All Day and on Instagram at MHK All Day News for more updates on what's going on in the community. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.